Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and it'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So let's talk about, you know, Atlanta season 2, episode 6. It's Mary Jane in building. I wanted to do this live just in case if there was anybody out there that wanted to, chime in with this review or this recap of Atlanta. Basically, Teddy Perkins. This was a crazy type of horror type of episode. It also had the get out type of experience as well. It was just with Darius. It was just like this episode was just like crazy. I was like OMG, and then off the rip, I knew that was Michael Jackson, and that was also Donald Glover. Childish Gambino. I just knew it off the rip. I was like, oh my God, he's imitating Michael Jackson as soon as he entered the house. But basically, let's start off with Darius going to the store to buy some items. So basically, he is going to take a trip. He got his U-Haul, but he purchased this hat and it had the Confederate flag on it and all that other stuff, Confederate stuff. And so he purchased a hat, and the mark and the guy in the store says $10. So he gets out the store, he marks on the hat, cross off the Confederate and say, "You mad?" and got the flag right there. And then when he's coming out of the store, the white woman is looking at him when he put on the hat. He goes, "You mad?" And then then the Confederate flag is right there. I thought that was, right there was epic, especially with all the shit that's going on. And so I was just like, okay, so he's in his U-Haul. He's listening to Stevie Wonder, Music of the Mind. And basically, Darius is going on a trip because he wants to get this free piano that has the rainbow. It's a rainbow like keyboard or whatever. So he's going to get this, piano. And basically, he found out the information on a message board. So I don't know when they say that, when he has a conversation with, Teddy Perkins, that did Teddy Perkins actually put the message out there on the message board, and was he using that piano to lure people in so he can find somebody to kill his brother? Did this just actually just happen? And his brother is Bennett or whatever. So, anyways, Darius, he arrives at Teddy Perkins' house. It's a huge mansion. It looks like, "Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Did you add me on IG?" Yeah, I did. I added all the freaking, there was a bunch of names like your names. I added like 10 different names. So hopefully you see my name because I did add you, King Gucci. What up, King? So did you watch Atlanta? Did you see Atlanta? Like, Atlanta was crazy. Do you watch Atlanta with Childish Gambino? Oh my goodness, this episode was crazy. And so then, thank you. Appreciate it, King. And so he enters the house and everything. And I'm just like, okay, the house looks all creepy. The house looks like it hasn't been taken care of. Like the outside, the landscape is all dirty, all decrepit. Like it's, no, it's been neglected. You know what I mean? It looks like the property been neglected, but it's a huge property. I would love that property because I'll be away from crazy people. So, anyways, once he enters the house or whatever, the door creaks open. I'm like, damn, look at the creak. Like, when you hear the creak of the door opens and shit, that shit was scary. I was like, oh shit. And then you got this monster, that AKA Michael Jackson. I don't want to call Michael Jackson a monster, but that's the way that they describe it because I love Michael Jackson. And the story is that Michael Jackson, he died looking like the archangel Michael. So anyways, I don't want to call my baby Michael a monster. So anyway, so the monster standing behind the door, and then he comes out and it's all creepy and shit. It's like mad creepy or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, so then he comes out and he goes. So Darius introduces himself and shit, and he puts his hands like this to shake his hand, like, what the fuck is that all about? Are you ain't no bird? You ain't no pet. So he shakes his hand and shit like that. So I'm like, okay. So they shake hands, like, this is gonna go terribly wrong. I think they can't kill Darius because this ain't that type of show. But I'm like, damn. So, anyways, and then this motherfucker, the monster, aka Teddy Perkins, starts to eat an oyster egg and he's hammering it open. I'm like, oh, this is so disgusting. This is so nasty. And so he does that. And then as he's doing it, all this goo and nasty shit is coming out of this egg. And it looks so nasty. It looks like throw up, vomit, semen. It looks like everything coming out of this oyster egg. I guess this is what rich folks do, eat oyster eggs or whatever. And he's eating the egg and shit. I was like, oh my God, it's so terrible. So then Teddy actually get into a conversation with Darius, and basically he offers him some of the oyster egg or whatever. Darius says no. And so then, Teddy asks him also, Benny Hope, and Benny is, Teddy's brother, basically, AKA. And he was like, no, not really, or whatever, basically. So I just thought that eating that egg was so nasty. It was so disgusting. And but then, Darius asked for some water or whatever. And so then, Teddy, he goes to his recorder, like, damn, Teddy, why do you have a recorder to remember shit? You play the keyboard, you play the piano and shit. So basically he records that give Darius a glass of water. So that kind of seemed like crazy and fugazi as well. And then eating that egg and the way he was chewing on it was just so disgusting. And it was just sitting there. I was like, oh. And so, anyways, so then Teddy asked him about, the piano or whatever. And so he was like, so Teddy was asking, are you a lover of music? And so, Darius was like, yeah, I'm a lover of music. I love music. Actually my friend is a rapper and shit like that. And so that's when Teddy goes, oh, rap music. You think, basically Teddy was saying rap music was the lowest art form, and basically he felt like rap music never matured out of its adolescence. And so basically that's when, Darius was like, nah, Jay-Z's like 65 years old and he's still rapping. And so then but Teddy's not feeling he doesn't really think rap music is an art form. And so then that's when, Darius is like, people just like to people like to play, people like to have a good time or whatever. So basically when he was saying that, Teddy said, I feel it's a insignificant, form of art. Darius says, I find people like to have a good time, basically. And so then that's when, Teddy was like, good time. Like he couldn't comprehend a good time, because then we learned about Teddy's childhood and how Teddy, was beaten and tortured to play music, him and his brother Bennett. So he couldn't understand. That's why he couldn't understand rap music, is because he never had a good time, because his time was always focusing on sacrificing his life to basically become a superstar, become someone famous or whatever, because that's what his father wanted. And so Darius is like, everybody likes to have a good time every now and then. And so then that's when Teddy said good time. And so when Teddy says good time or whatever, when Teddy says good time, Darius is thinking that, like, are you talking to me that I'm still having a good time or whatever? Like Darius like, oh, you mean, oh, good time. Not good time, but how long, Teddy says, how long have you been having a good time? And so basically Darius is taking it like it's a shot or not as a shot, because, but I guess when Teddy's asking him a good time, how long have you been having a good time? It's just like, you haven't matured, you're still having a good time, you're not going anywhere in life. Or but then and then what's his name? Darius kind of takes it as a shot, like good time, how long have you been playing? And but because Darius says, how long have you been playing? So that's when, Darius is like, playing, like, what do you mean playing? And so he realized that, he's talking about playing the piano. And so Darius is like, no, I don't play the piano. But when Teddy said playing the piano, I mean, how long have you been playing? Darius just took it as like, you think I'm playing around, that I've been playing or whatever. So anyways, they get past that conversation or whatever. And so then, Darius, oh, you're talking about playing. Oh yeah, you're talking about playing the piano. So he gets it, whatever. He goes, are you a fan of Bennett? And so then, Darius doesn't have an idea who Bennett is, but he gets up and he looks at the picture and he knows who everybody else is. Stevie Wonder and all these people, from Motown, basically, the record label that, Michael Jackson grew up on, the Jackson Fives and everything. So he's looking at it and he's like, oh yeah. Oh, okay. So he's looking at all the pictures. He knows everybody else, but he doesn't know, who Bennett is or whatever. So then once he goes, and so then, what's his name? Teddy says, are you a fan of Bennett? My brother, basically, they said, the famous people said that my brother, like he plays from pain, or whatever. And so, famous people said my brother played from pain. And so that's when, what's his name? Teddy's like, pain. My brother, he played from pain, and basically the pain that he played from is the pain that he received as growing up. Like, you had to play, and so then Teddy's like, that's all my brother knew is pain. So that's why he played so good, because he was always in pain. Basically, he was tortured. And so he was good at playing from pain. And so, and also, Teddy knew that his brother can play from pain very well, because he suffered from pain too as well. And then on top of that, he's torturing his brother to play from pain. So it's just like, and Donald Glover is so, he played this role so great. Like, he just really looked like, like he could have been, in the Jackson. Like, he did look like Michael Jackson. Then he didn't blink his eye or anything. The shit was crazy. He didn't blink his eye. I don't know if they taped his eyelids or something, but his eyes wouldn't blink, and he just looked mad crazy. And so basically, I was just like, yo, this is just like, this is, just, but it was such a good episode. But, Bennett just played what he knew. So basically, Teddy just, like, my brother just played from what he knew, and that was pain. That's all he knew was pain. That's what he played from. I was just like, damn. So, they're actually getting deep into the Michael Jackson story. I don't know if Donald Glover is gonna get an email or a text from Joe Jackson, because Joe Jackson be out here in these internet streets when you talk about his kids or you talk about him or whatever. So it's just like, okay, I'm reloaded. And so, Bennett just played from what he knew. And so then that's when, what's his name? Darius was like, so is Bennett not with us anymore? Is he not here anymore? Is he gone or whatever? He was like, no, he lives here with me. I was like, and then, Darius is like, he lives here with you. Like, he couldn't get it. Like, okay, he lives here with you. And then, so then that's when, Teddy tells him, oh, he got this, he's allergic to sun. He got this skin disease. Basically, he don't go out in public anymore and all this other stuff. So basically, they're talking about, Michael Jackson and his family being secluded, not coming outside at one point in his life because they suffer from, like, abuse from their childhood. And so then also, Darius is like, Darius is also like, it must be depressing here. It must be like not good, because you need sunlight, you need vitamin D. Are you gonna be depressed or whatever? So Darius is like, wow, that sounds really depressing, that he can't come out in the sunlight, that he can't come out or whatever, excuse me. So because they're living in they're in the darkness or whatever, and it's depressing. And you see, Teddy doesn't get any of what Darius is saying, but he's fond of Darius as this time. So then Darius is like, your butler or whatever didn't bring that glass of water. So that's when Teddy was like, oh, I don't have a butler. I don't have a butler at all. And so then he plays the recording, and then he talks, then it says wash your hands. And when it says wash your hands, I don't know if that meant that he needs to wash his hands after, Bennett, after he was torturing Bennett on the computer, or wash his hands after he killed Darius with the gun, so he doesn't have gunpowder residue on his hand. So anyways, that's when, Teddy gets up and he was like, oh, that reminds me. And he gets up and he just walks away. And when he gets up and he just walks away, he doesn't say he's going to get the water. He goes straight to the attic, and he's up there, and you hear the music. And it seems like he's actually beating Bennett and torturing Bennett upstairs in the attic. And so I don't know if he went upstairs in the attic and got the shotgun. But anyways, Darius is walking around, he's looking at different things, he hears the music. So he goes upstairs to where he hears the piano playing or whatever. So he goes up there, and all of a sudden, Teddy opens the door real quick. And so he's looking at him. And so Darius sees, a wheelchair right next to the piano. He hears music. He's not sure who's playing the music, because at this time and point, Darius thinks that Teddy and Bennett are the same person. And basically, he sees the photos of the black people and how Darius used to be black, but he's not black anymore because he was bleaching his skin and shit like that. So, anyways, so Teddy was like, "You can't be up here. Go downstairs. I'll be with you in a second." And so, anyways, Darius, he goes, okay. So he calls Al or whatever. He's talking to Al on the phone. Al was like, you still there, man? Why are you still there? You really want this piano? You want to die for this piano? And it seems like Darius Darius is going to take this shit or whatever. And it's like he's doing the same thing that Al did, Paperboy did last episode. Basically, stay around. Like if Darius would have left immediately, like once he found out that Bennett was famous and this dude is giving away this famous rainbow piano, I would have just bounced immediately. When he ate that oyster egg, I would have bounced. When he came behind the door with the creepy hands, I would have bounced. I wouldn't have stayed around. So it almost got him killed. And it's the same thing that happened last episode. It almost got Paperboy killed, got into the car accident. He almost went back to jail because he got in a car accident. He had weed. Homeboy had warrants. And, Paperboy was on probation. And it's like they both let people lead them around. And then also the previous episode with that is when Van was leading, was leading Ern around leading him around in that place that he didn't want to be, in that cabin, doing all the white folk shit that he didn't want to do. So it was like, okay, so it's like now we're seeing like a pattern where these characters are letting people lead them around, and it's almost causing them death. So it seems like they need to lead their self around, or Darius needs to just turn around and just leave that piano. Ain't that important? Free shit ain't always the best shit. So basically, I think that's where they're going with that. But anyways, so he leaves the attic or whatever. And so then Darius, he's talking to Al on the phone. And then I was like, are you willing to die for this? I was like, he sounds like a serial killer. And it's not clicking to Darius that he might be set up to get killed or whatever. He thinks he's just getting his free piano for some strange person on a message board that left a message or whatever. He has no idea, but at least his friends know where he's at. And so then that's when Darius is like, I have a 2 life limit regret. Like, I'm only going to regret 2 things in life. If not, basically, I was like, what are you talking about? No one's going to know if you have any regrets unless you tell me, because I'm going to tell him myself. I'm going to tell him. So it's just like, okay, whatever. So anyways, I said, I was like, yo, you're crazy. And that also reminds me of the Get Out episode when, he's calling his friend from the TSA. So like, why are you going to the woods? Why are you going to the cabin to meet this white girl's family? Like, that sounds crazy. That don't make no sense. Like, why are you doing that or whatever? So anyways, Al is telling him to make it clear that, hey, listen, I want a complete transaction or whatever. So get this and get it out or whatever. So then, Darius was like, yo, he looks like Sammy Sosa. He looks like the clone of Sammy Sosa. He was like, yo, somebody look up Sammy Sosa. Look what he looks like. And so, Ern looks up Sammy Sosa. You only see a little tidbit of Ern because he's actually playing Teddy. And so then, and a little snippet of they show that, they show Sammy Sosa and they was like, oh damn, Sammy Sosa look all messed up or whatever. I was like, but before we get to that, when Darius is outside talking on the phone, you see Teddy calling him from the window, and that's like an episode in the Get Out when the old lady was looking at the dude from downstairs, and and then she closed the lights off. So it was like a horror / Get Out and / it was good that they had Darius play actually this role, but it was like horror horror and like horror child abuse and shit like that, but also with some comedy in it as well, especially with Ern playing Michael Jackson, actually Ern playing like Whiteface. So anyways, it was interesting. And so it is what it is. And so then they make all these jokes about Sammy Sosa, saying Sammy Sosa. I'm gonna get to that part. I think it's coming up. So, anyways, Ern gets back in house. He sees the gift shop, but basically, Teddy takes a picture of him. Why did Teddy take the picture of him? Was he gonna take the picture of him to put in the museum that he was like somebody that died in the house? Because he's gonna use Bennett, type of Bennett died in this house, and he's trying to make it a historical what horror house or whatever, because he got his father like kind of like hanging, and then he's gonna kill Bennett, and then now Darius is going to be killed too as well. So he was trying to make it a horror, gift shop. And then it also goes back to, like Michael Jackson and Elvis or whatever. Elvis having like a gift shop, having a historical site. Michael Jackson house having a gift shop and having the carnival, having a circus, having a zoo, having all that other stuff. So that, and then he shows his father. He shows his father in that room that's covered with newspapers. Oh, like I would have been out of that house. Like I would have been ghost. Like there was 5 things that happened before that Darius should have bounced. And I guess they're trying to lead to like, these people got to stop letting people lead them around for bullshit, because that's the same thing happened to Paperboy. And now it's happening to Darius this episode. So anyways, and the room was covered with newspaper. And he was like, "This is my father." Then Teddy. Then Teddy also tells him that he had to play piano 3 hours a day, twice a day, and every Sunday they had an exam. And he said if they would fail the exam, they would suffer physical abuse. So basically, he's talking about his physical abuse and the shit that happened to him and all that other stuff. And it's just like, damn. And then he goes, "My father, Joe Jackson." So basically, they don't lead you on too far. They let you know, like, basically this episode is guaranteed to be based on Joe Jackson and Michael Jackson. Then he starts to talk about Serena's father, then Marvin Gaye Sr., and then he talks about, Tiger Woods' father. Basically, I guess they're throwing shots. I don't know if any of these celebrities are going to come at, Donald Glover with this bullshit. So anyway, so he's throwing, and when I say Donald Glover, is because, Childish Gambino, he actually wrote this episode. So he wrote this. This was his creative thinking and his creative thoughts, and he actually played this character. So it was so interesting. It was really a good. This is the second best. The first best episode was with Cat Williams. Now this is the second best episode so far, in my opinion, for season 2. So hopefully we're going to see more great episodes. So, but there's only been 2. And so out of 6, I believe this is the 6th episode. 2 out of 6 ain't bad, right? So anyways, and he talks about his dad beating him, and basically he's going to dedicate that room to that. And then Teddy is also talking about that Michael Jackson's the king of pop. Yes, he is. Michael Jackson's just the king, period. He's down with you, King. King Gucci. He's down with you. So so like they would get beat. So that was crazy. So they would actually practice, and then so Teddy was actually justifying what his father did, that we were sacrificed. Darius seems like a little, Darius is like, that seems like a little unnecessary to do all that. And Teddy was like, to make a omelet you need to break a few eggs. So they had like a good one-liners. And also Teddy said, to build a bridge some people have to fall. So it was like great little, one-liners too as well. And he also says great things come from great pain. And basically a lot of us can possibly agree with that, but we don't agree with the abuse shit. But like sometimes when you suffer, you go to different trials and tribulations, you come out a great person, or not to make the mistakes again, or you can help somebody else and you can become successful. Because a lot of people pull themselves up, that I know, by the bootstraps or whatever. Anyways, moving on from that. Clarence Thomas don't agree with that. So anyways, so basically, at the end he goes, "My father, Joe Jackson," or whatever, and he names all the other fathers. So then I'll text, Darius was like, "Yo, are you still alive? Are you dead yet?" And I thought that shit was so funny too. And so then Darius is like, "Yo, I just want to sign the paperwork. I want to get this computer. Like, is there any tax information I need to fill or whatever?" So he's rushing the process, and as rushing the process, it's rushing Teddy to actually figure out what he wants to do with, Darius. And so basically he chooses Darius. And so then after that, they're signing the paperwork in the room or whatever. And so then, Teddy is also describing, like, it's so hard, it's so difficult, like Benny had it so hard and it's so difficult, not going outside. Everything's just difficult. Like they had tremendous amount of suffering. And so then Darius tries to say, "I totally understand." And then Teddy was like, "You don't understand. You don't know." And then he slams down the paper like, "You don't understand, mother effer. You don't know what it's about. When you don't love yourself, you got to change yourself around. You've been abused since you was a kid and nobody understand. And you live in a seclusive." So anyways, as he slammed the paperwork down, Darius looks down, he looks at the piano and he sees blood. So I don't know if Darius realized Michael Jackson lives in Indiana. I thought he lived in Cali. I thought he lived in LA or California, but I guess I was wrong. So then, when he slams the paper down on the piano with the colors, tell me that piano wasn't lit. That piano was lit. That I see why Darius wanted that piano. That piano is lit, but thinking about it came from a rich, famous person, I would think there would be some type. No one's gonna give it away, especially when he was in a gift shop. I would have ran out when I realized that he's trying to have a gift shop. Why wouldn't he want to sell? Why wouldn't he want to have the rainbow piano in a gift shop, something that Benny played on? You know what I mean? I would be like, yo, why would you want to give an artifact or antique with so much history away? I would have been out the house a long time ago. So anyways, so Darius looks down on the piano and then he sees blood. So I don't know if Darius is realizing that either Teddy has been playing so much that he's bleeding, or when he went up to the attic and he's seen Teddy up there and he's seen the wheelchair, that was Bennett playing on the piano until he bleeds, or was Teddy beating him while he was on the piano. So it was just like, oh shit, crazy. So anyways, he see the blood and now he's feeling kind of like, okay, I need to get out of here basically. And so and then the part, I think I missed the part. So when they get back, when they started talking about Sammy Sosa, it was like Sammy Sosa looked like a scab, like underneath a scab. Sammy Sosa looked like looked like a penis, a white man's penis. They were saying Sammy Sosa looked like his hat. They were just like cracking all over Sammy Sosa because of the bleaching of his skin. I was just like, yo, Sammy Sosa's gonna be tweeting. Sammy Sosa's gonna be on Instagram story talking about, why you talking about me? So anyways, like they really shit on Sammy Sosa for the bleaching of his skin, that like, yo, this is how like Sammy Sosa is becoming like the new Michael Jackson, basically. I don't know if they were trying to make that point, but I guess that was the biggest person that you can say right now at this time and point that got this, that been bleaching their skin or whatever. So anyways, it is what it is. I was just like, damn, they diss Sammy Sosa bad. So he's signing the paperwork, he sees the blood or whatever. And so then all of a sudden, he gets the piano, he goes, the elevator goes right to the freaking basement. Then he actually meets Bennett, but he's still not sure if it's Bennett or not. And the guy got a mask on, and he's writing a note saying, Teddy's gonna kill us both. There's a gun in the attic. And so, but Teddy already went and got that gun. As soon as he went to the attic, when he remembered to wash his hand, I believe that's when he went to go get the gun or whatever. Or he needed to wash, Bennett's hand because he was bleeding while he was playing the piano, because, Teddy was beating Bennett while he was playing the piano or whatever. But so I was just like, damn. So then, Darius was like, whatever, I'm all right, I'll get the gun after I put my piano away. So Darius tries to put the piano inside the U-Haul truck, and guess what? He has this old dilapidated station wagon they used to go on tour with a long time ago. Oh, no problem. It's all good, King. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to Google it, because sometimes, my brain be all over the place. But anyways, it's all good, King. That's why your name is King. It's all good. We got kings in the building. So then, Darius goes to so he tries to put the piano inside the U-Haul truck, and he's not able to because he got this dilapidated old tour station wagon type of shit that they used to use back in the day. So it shows you that, Teddy is actually living back in the past. Like, he hasn't transformed to the future, but a little bit he has. It doesn't look like he does have a TV. He's still watching video cassettes and shit like that. He got money to transfer that shit to a memory stick or a computer file. So anyways, so Darius is being crazy. Like, I don't know why Darius didn't move the U-Haul up some more and then stick the piano in and then bounce. Why did he go back inside the house to tell Teddy to move the damn the car? Because there was enough space for Darius to move the U-Haul truck up and then load the piano in and then bounce and hit the road. Jack, you're not gonna see me no more. So anyways, he goes back inside the house, and then Teddy is watching watching videos tapes of him being abused when he was a child, or his brother being abused as a child. And then that's when Teddy pulls a gun on him, talking about, I choose you, talking about, there is a gun in the attic or whatever. So now he takes control of Darius, chains him up to the chair, and he was like, we're gonna have a home invasion. You was a fan of Bennett and you was obsessed. And then basically he starts to throw the jewelry on Darius and shit like that. And so he's gonna set him up to kill him because Teddy wants to kill Bennett, and then I think he wants to use, Bennett as, a artifact inside the, museum or whatever, or the gift shop or whatever. I don't know why he wants to kill his brother. Maybe his brother doesn't want to play the piano anymore, or he wants to take it all, but he wants his brother dead, and he wants Darius to take the blame. And so him and Darius is having a dialogue, and and so Darius is trying to talk to him about, pain and being abused. Maybe if your father would have said sorry to you, I think it was wrong. Maybe your father wasn't on you so much, and maybe you would have chose something different. Maybe you wasn't going to be great at music. Maybe you could have been great at something else other than a piano, but you didn't get that chance because, your life was directed a certain type of way, and I'm sorry for that. And so then we find out a little bit about Darius, where he tells us that he had a problem too as well with with his um with his father. Basically, like, he had some situations with his father and things like that, things went, awry, and his father wasn't that great of a person. So he's trying to identify with, Teddy, but Teddy's not hearing. And Teddy was like, you know what, sometimes there is sacrifice. Who cares about sacrifice? Sacrifice ain't that deep. Sacrifice ain't that big or whatever. So he pulls out, he has that gun on him. I'm just like, damn, I know Darius is not going to get killed, but we got Bennett. He comes up to the elevator, grabs a shotgun, shoots his brother. And then Darius was carrying around, the stick to, I can't even think of the name of it, that you use for the fireplace to, turn the wood over or whatever. And basically he asks, Darius for that stick, and he uses it, boom, shoots himself in the head, and then boom, the shit's over. So Darius doesn't get the piano. So him taking this long trip and saying things that are not cool, and he's following his destiny, almost could have got him killed, where he wouldn't have had that second regret. So I guess, I don't know who's the next episode going to be about. Is it going to be about Tracy, or is it going to be about Ern? Because Ern episode with him following around Van wasn't about him. It was about Van. So I don't know if that's gonna entwine with the next episode. But this episode was very good writing. It's about motherfucking time, because this episode was deep. It was crazy. It was just weird. And you know that aka Childish Gambino, likes Michael Jackson. He loves Michael Jackson. Some of his music's inspired by Michael Jackson. So this was a great episode. I don't know how the Jacksons are gonna feel about this episode, but you guys tell me how you feel about this episode. And do you think it was a good episode? I thought it was creepy. I thought it was unique how, Ern was, Teddy, and he was just weird looking, and he painted his face white, his eyes didn't blink. And the way he talked and he changed his voice tone, I was like, oh my God, it's just crazy. So anyways, you guys tell me how you feel. What did you think about the episode? Because I really thought it was a good episode. I'm gonna give this episode an A+. I think they went, they're using bleaching skin, they're using, depression, they're using child abuse in this episode, and wanting something so bad when it's really not good for you. And then also people making fun of celebrities, and then celebrities, isolating themselves, and you don't know why, because you don't understand their past and their pain. And then so there's a lot going on in this episode that, it could relate to a lot of different things. And this is what Atlanta is about: relating to the everyman, relating to everyday life, relating to situations that people possibly can go through. And basically, hearing Stevie Wonder, so we know they're a big fan. The writers over there at Atlanta are big fans of Michael Jackson and Motown. They said so many different names. I thought this was a great episode. I love the music on the episode. So peace out. One love to all my peeps and my peoples. And thank you for watching. Thank you for liking King. I really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day. I will be back in a few, because there's some other shit that I want to do. Plus, I'm sick. I don't feel good. And it's snowing today. It's snowing again. Do you believe this? It's snowing. So anyways, one love. Peace. I'm out. Thanks.